Hey everyone, today is a rainy day and we're heading to the truck camp. We're gonna stay there for a day or two. We're gonna make sure the roof doesn't leak. If you saw that video, we replaced the roof on it, so this is a good time to go camping. It's also a very cool day. Today's high temperature won't get above 50, 10 degrees Celsius, and overnight it'll be into the upper 30s, which will feel awesome. I brought some food. Some of it needs refrigeration, but we could just leave it outside. I think we'll be good. We're gonna do some cooking there. I'm gonna show you guys the new setup. It'll be nice. We're already starting to get a lot of fall colors. The peak will be in another week or two. I'll make some videos on that. And we're already getting all the leaf peeping tourists. I really wanted to be at the camp during the peak of the rain. This morning it was all 100% chance of rain. Now we're getting into like 80, then 40% chance in a couple hours. But I guess it's good to not be pouring the whole time, that we can actually do some things, inspect the outside and all that. But the trees are already getting beautiful. A couple weeks it'll be at peak. And we can get snow in the next month. Growing season here, it ends in 4 days, literally. October 1st is when it ends, the growing season in this region. The best places to go leaf peeping are Mount Katahdin, the White Mountains, the Green Mountains, but with Katahdin and the White Mountains, if you get lucky in early October, you can get a picture. The bottom is bright red orange, the top is white. Make that nice tight corner now that we don't have a trailer this time. My truck's MPG dropped so badly, the average pulling a trailer around for a while the past couple weeks. This is a heavy 4,300 pound generator trailer. That's how we got power out to this site to build that truck camp. It was a lot of fun using the off-grid power. I'm kind of disappointed. The rain just about stopped. I wish it would have stayed pouring at least for another hour or two. That'd be fun to hear. It'll probably pick up again though. All right. Reached the mode area. Wow, these trees became more beautiful over the past week. These were pretty green just a week ago, but I guess these crisp, cold temperatures. It started pouring pretty heavily again. I take it back. I wish it was still stopped. It's all right, I guess we can just wait another hour or so for the rain to calm down. Now, I'm not a carpenter. It might not look perfect to you, but I don't think it'll leak. I did the flashing. I caulked around the top of that, even though I did flashing around the window. Pretty sure it's well secured. But we're gonna head inside now until it stops raining. Then I'll bring in all my stuff I brought, including the bed. The rain is not dripping in the bucket. It's splashing a little though, but it looks like we got a little more than an inch of rain. Look at the beautiful pattern. If you remember, the old roof was just pieces of metal being held down with cinder blocks. It was flat. It worked, but I was worried about it in the winter snow. So we come on in. No mice, that's good to see. I found these things here that are all natural, mouse repellent. Makes the place smell so much better than mothballs, which you gotta get out of here a day ahead of time. I brought more traps in case we need them. I'm probably gonna set those when I abandon the place again for a month or so because, we'll leave that open. It's nice out. When this place goes abandoned for a while, no one's here, mice all come in it, especially this time of year. So we got the nice staircase. The upstairs, I'm proud of how the upstairs looks. Oh, we got a raindrop on the camera. I think it came out good. I'm not going to use this cot. I didn't bring the mattress for that. I'm just going to pull the bed out of the back of my truck and just lay the mattress on the floor. but we have it wired up. And the cool thing is this whole place is gonna run on solar power. Let me get the power running. So these are, I don't know how it's gonna do with the rain. Tomorrow's gonna be drier, but doesn't look like it's gonna be that sunny. I'm sure it'll do something. These are large solar panels that plug into this power bank, and I wired the whole building so it's powered by this. So we just go ahead and plug that into the power bank, hit the AC button, it's now on. 100% charged, the battery. Now we're gonna see how fast this drops. And if it does drop, we got regular camera lights for tonight. See, it goes into that conduit. Over here, the whole system is GFCI protected. Our maximum wattage we can use on the power bank is 400 watts, meaning you can't plug a microwave in, you can't plug anything in over 400 watts or it'll tell that thing to shut off. So these are 100 watt equivalent LEDs, which only draw, I think, 20 something each. We got some upstairs. I'm gonna leave all the lights on at the moment just to see how fast it drops. It's 2:08 p.m. So I want to keep an eye on this battery level, and I just want to see, with all 4 lights that I installed in here, how much solar electricity does it actually take, and tomorrow we're going to see, even when it's cloudy, how long it takes to recharge the system. I brought power banks for my camera, so I'm not even going to be using the solar system day one. I just want to see with these 4 light bulbs that are LED producing the equivalent of 400 watts of light for about 50 watts in reality. How long will this system be able to charge it? That's a 400 watt power bank by Jackery. So this is going to be our experiment. It's a chilly day. I'm kind of up moving around now, but if I sat around, I'm going to get cold. We're going to start this wood stove up. We're going to cook some interesting things later. I got to get all the food and stuff out of the truck, and got to take a quick peek up here. I think I did a good job. It was windy earlier today, but yet I don't see any poles. It didn't make it between any roofing. I don't see any water dribbling down the walls around where I did the flashing. So far, it checks out. Roof is very steep, perfect for winter time. No snow is gonna get on this place. And I put windows upstairs. We gotta have ventilation. This got so hot the week I was building it. It was a really hot week. And what's cool is you leave that door open, you got the wood stove. Even if you're not using it for heating, just for cooking, all the heat will escape out the top while it sucks fresh air in. Awesome. So we'll get this wood stove going in a couple minutes. I brought some pumpkins. It'll keep me occupied and not get so bored. We can make some jack-o'-lanterns. Oh no, the bed's gonna get wet going through all these trees. All right, everyone. I'm not gonna wear shoes up here because it's nice and clean, and I always end up tracking mud up here or into the place, and I know I'll track it up here if I leave shoes on. So shoes stay downstairs where I typically have to mop. It won't be as easy to mop up here. I want to keep any heat at the moment that I produce. Let's get this thing out of here. That's a folding cot. I'm just gonna put it in the corner out of the way. I'm gonna make my bed real quick. I'll get the blanket and everything I'll need later. That window's a little bit sticky. It also has some rainwater coming in it. Not leaking, just coming in it. And this right here is a three-way switch, which means you turn it on downstairs, you come up here, you can shut it back off, back and forth. There's no on-off position with these. There's also an electrical plug here I'm not going to be using because I really want to see how much power does that power bank go through with just the lights running. I got power banks to run my cameras and stuff, which is good. And every now and then I hear a cooling fan on the power bank turn on and off. I'm going to wait 1 hour, then I'll show you exactly how much power it's used with these 4 bulbs. And you know what's cool about this place? The truck is super strong metal. It can handle this. But yet, this thing shakes violently because the truck still is on suspension. It has springs. I want to show you what that looks like from outside. I don't even know. I've never filmed it before. But when I was building it, this whole place was rocking around. But while you're rocking it down there, you don't see any discrepancy because the walls aren't flexing. It's the suspension of the truck. Matter of fact, I'm starting to get hot now that I shut the windows. That may have probably been a mistake. But we got to go get that fire started now. All right, everyone. We're going to try shaking it again. How much did that shake? The front of the truck still has wheels. It still has shocks. The back of it doesn't have wheels, but it's still on the leaf springs that are on a... I don't even know what's holding it. Oh, the back of it's just on cinder blocks, but still it can rock. All right, the power bank's been running 32 minutes. You hear that noise? The cooling fans. And half an hour it used 4%. So this thing should go all night with that logic. I will use this thing to run a tiny USB box fan in the back of my truck. It'll use about half of this thing in an 8-hour period. Maybe these lights don't draw as much because that seems to be really good so far. The light's slightly flickering. I guess the LED doesn't like... Maybe there's a small lack of voltage or something coming out of that, but upstairs lights off, on. There's a slight flicker. I don't think it's showing up on the camera though. All right, so back here, this is all scrap from building the place. These ones here need to be cut. That's why I have a little saw in here. But underneath, they're all pieces that'll fit in the stove. Super dry framing. So we'll use this stuff to also help us start up a campfire. And we got a good amount of wood. You saw out back we have a ton of wood. That mirror right there wanted to fall over when I was shaking the truck. I've never shaken it that much actually, but I'm now going to avoid it after seeing underneath. I didn't realize that this thing's up on a couple cinder blocks that are pretty crooked. I'll have to fix that at some point. We'll have to wait until it's dry again because I'll have to use a jack to jack this place up while we put more bricks under it, and the ground's pretty soft and I don't have a jack right now. I have jack stands I just brought back that I could shove under here as a permanent solution. They're heavy duty ones for like a big rig, but they're also pretty handy. Don't want to waste them. Oh, I want to shovel that thing out first. All right, we're gonna dump that out. We need this little bucket. There's a good amount of it in there without spilling too much of it. Let's go dump this in the woods. We haven't emptied this out for last use. Now with a wood stove, see what's in there? You want to leave a little bit of it in there. It acts as insulation so you don't overheat and crack possibly the bottom of the stove. It makes the stove last longer if you leave like an inch of it in there. That is fertilizer for those trees now. We got our nice dry kindling right here. I'm gonna need some of this cardboard. I have that nice plastic Tupperware bin for scrap, so I don't need this anymore. Gotta make sure that doesn't fall over and smash. I actually broke one of the mirrors when I was building the upstairs. I dropped a piece of wood down here. Alrighty, so we gotta cram some of this in there. Everything that you see right here is so dry. It's been sitting here for like a year. This summer, this place bakes in the sun. This place next summer will be cooler downstairs because of the upstairs, but very unbearable upstairs, so that's why we put windows. But at night when you're sleeping, it should be nice and fine. Upstairs should get nice and warm when this thing heats everything up. The building's not insulated, but if this thing's running, shouldn't have a problem there. Let's go ahead, cram some of this stuff in. This is nice soft wood pine. Then we'll put some of the hardwood on top of it, which will go a long time, produce a good amount of heat for cooking. I'm very hungry. I a lot of times don't eat breakfast. I just head out because breakfast takes a lot of time and it makes me tired for some reason eating in the morning. But in the afternoon, when I start feeling sluggish like this, eating does the exact opposite. It starts to wake me up. That's just the way I am. Now I got a lighter. Let's hope. Oh, I forgot my paint can opener when I was out here. Alright, so let's hope this cardboard is enough to catch that wood. I think it will be because that is some really dry wood. Damper's open. If only I had some good pieces of paper. That might go now. That might help get it all going. It's good to have windows open, like the door. It helps this thing draft when it starts up. It's already seems to be drafting. The smoke is heading back, which means it's going up out the pipe. I think this is going to catch perfectly because this stuff is so dry. I learned my lesson the first couple times starting this thing. It was so hard, especially if it was rainy or snowy, going out in the woods and collecting your own kindling. Yeah, you can find wood that's dead, but it's still wet from the events going on. I think this will be enough to catch it, so I'm just going to set you in front of it and we'll time lapse for a little bit. That got going beautifully. Now that stuff should catch the nice big piece of hardwood in. Once there's enough available space, I'll put more hardwood in there. We have enough hardwood to run this place for at least a week outside. So we also have this one mirror I didn't want to break. I can go ahead and put that one back if I want. So let's go see if it's smoking or burning nice and clean. Not burning clean, just give it a little bit to heat up. The smoke coming out of this camp does look pretty cool. I say less than 10 minutes, there won't be any smoke coming out of there once it gets roaring and up to temperature. Nice. It's really hard to get any far away angles when there's leaves on the trees. It's already starting to briefly clear up. All right, in only literally 2 minutes, that smoke is, you can see through it now. That was thick a minute ago. It's about to stop smoking. 5 more minutes, you won't see anything coming out of there unless we add on a new piece. That's kind of cool. Look at it. Clearing up. Big puff. It clears up a little bit. Then you get a big huff. Look at that. Clearing up. Ooh, almost completely cleared up there. Yeah, couple more minutes. Once those stoves heat up, they burn very clean. Now, I don't think that's too close, but I will be monitoring right there. We could always shove a piece of sheet metal in there temporarily. But I don't think it's too close. I don't think the building's even really gonna heat up there. Oh wow, I'm already feeling this thing's heat. We're climbing up on the gauge. You want it in this temperature. If it's too cold, it causes creosote to build up in the pipe, which is a very flammable substance that comes from the wood. And you don't want it to overheat either, because that can cause damage or even crack your stove. That got going real good. Look at that. Amazing. And we're burning completely clean. Less than 10 minutes of operation. Can't see a single piece of smoke coming out of there. The rain's getting heavy. I'm pretty soaked. I was only out there a couple of minutes. Now to sit in here and just warm up for a while. Once this thing runs for like an hour, it should feel nice and warm in here compared to the outside. Outside is like 50 degrees today, 10 degrees Celsius, but in here we'll get it to a beautiful room temperature easily in this weather. All right, we're starting to run a little too hot. You control the airflow with the damper right there. If you close it too much with the door open, it'll come in here. So just closing it a little bit. Now I'm gonna just sit down and do a little bit of editing while I dry off. All right, here's an update after another half an hour. Running nice and clean. Everything's up to temp. Walking out here, I saw little mice ran away, so we'll be ready for them. Underneath with the bricks, this is what I was just telling everyone about. Can you see that in there? I want to fix that. It looks a little crooked, and especially with the ground getting soft. I don't know what this metal pole is either. That might be a little jack. So sometime we'll try to reinforce that. So right here, it's not even getting warm, and this thing is actually running over temperature. What about those bungees? While I was editing, I was worried about, it ruined them a little bit. No big deal though. They were already ruined. When they turn this color in the sun, the elasticity, whatever you call it, is kind of wrecked at that point. So we come in. I brought some baking sheets. Ooh, the splashing is coming in here. But the baking sheets, what I plan on doing with this later on is I'm gonna put this bottom pan on top of the stove, maybe with a couple shims to keep it a little bit to control its temperature. And here's some of the food I brought. We'll eat this at some point. That'll be nice to cook up in a pot. But I brought pepperoni, which is good in itself just to crisp up in an oven, but we'll try to make some of that. Discount shelf brownies. Got some cheese. Yeah, we're gonna make some pizza in here. I got some pizza crusts. We'll try making a little oven out of those pans. I also bought this just because I couldn't find that at first. So it's kind of same thickness and everything. Maybe pizza with those will be good too. I gotta put this all on the kitchen counter. We also got a potato pie on the discount shelf. Got some bananas, some water. There's the pizza sauce. Here's some more drinks for the next day. Brought some soups and stuff just so I don't run out of food. I'm also gonna try this new Jack Link chili. Okay, we'll start cooking in a little bit. I'm kind of hungry. So inside here, we're running at a good temperature. I haven't thrown anything in since earlier. We gotta throw more in with this one chunk of hardwood. So over here, grab another one, shove it in there. Grab another one, shove it in there. Let that catch up a little bit. The hot coals are sure to do that. And temperature in here, doing pretty good. Look at that, we're pretty close to room temperature. Awesome, 22 Celsius, 71, 72 Fahrenheit. Nice temperature. We're maintaining nicely. I'm just gonna leave the door open. Now upstairs, we gotta get another thermometer up here. Actually, amazingly, it's not hot up here at all. That's good. And these now have been running for about 100 minutes, a little more than an hour and a half. And we're on 91. All right, that's starting to drop a little more rapidly now. So now that I know how much it's basically gonna use, we're gonna shut the lights off upstairs, which we don't need. We also don't need this light. It's daytime. We're just gonna slightly unscrew it because it's the same switch as the one over here. So we're just gonna have that one bulb now, and we're gonna see what this one bulb does over the course of another couple hours. It's on 91%. It is 3:29, let's just say 3:30 in the afternoon. We're gonna see by like 6 o'clock how much power will that thing use. Like I said, anytime you add something to the fire, until it gets back up to temperature with the new wood, it's always gonna start smoking again outside until it gets up to temp in a couple of minutes. With the old flat roof, it never drips so much in front of the door. Maybe we'll put like a 45-degree 2x4 on both ends of it and just have a little piece of roofing at some point. Because it is splashing in here quite a ton, and that's just gonna contribute to the rust. We can maybe spray paint this at some point. It's getting pretty rusty there. Later, I would love to go ahead and carve one or two of these pumpkins. We'll make a nice face, stick some tea light candles I got in the truck, and the pumpkin seeds, we can eat them. You can take them all out. If you're at home and you're doing jack-o'-lanterns, you can go ahead, grab all the seeds, put them on a cookie sheet, put them in the oven, 250 degrees for about 40 minutes. Then you can increase to 350 degrees and for about 5 minutes just to brown them if you weren't satisfied with how much they turned out before. But just cook them nice and slow and they'll be delicious, just like the store-bought pumpkin seeds you always get. I got these on top of the stove to try to dry them, but I don't want to wreck my good pans, so I just have it on this to make sure they don't get overheated. And we just put more wood in. It's smoking up a whole ton outside. Brought in some of my lights, power banks. I forgot the wire. I got to go back out again. Organizing everything. Brought in the plates, some paper towels, pot holders. We got some butt napkins. That stuff can't stay here because mice, they are bad here. This place, if you put mothballs, it keeps them out for pretty much. I'm hoping the mint I put in here, which smells good to me, I hope that keeps them out as effective as the mothballs, or I'm going to have to put it back in. So this place, when I bought this place, this was filled to the brim with a hoarder's stuff. Couldn't even walk in here. I had to throw it all out, give it away for free. Then the next project was pressure washing it. I had to rip the ceiling off because there was another piece of sheet metal in here. That is all the remnants of mouse poop, but it was sprayed with bleach and stuff. They were living in the walls of this truck. I got videos of ripping all that down, pressure washing it. They were bad. But in the middle of nowhere, any shelter, they will be drawn to it. At least in the city, they're kind of spread out because there's so many options. But in the country, once it starts getting cold out this time of year, they go to any building they can possibly find. I used to have a microwave here. I gave it to my mom. I used to use it as a storage bin for things that the mice might chew. We'll try to get another microwave in here, but you can't run that off this system. I don't want that kind of thing. I like keeping it a little bit primitive like this. This still is primitive. It's off grid. This right here is, what do you call it? solar system. I could put a generator out here if I wanted things like microwaves and that. At the moment, I don't want that. You saw there's power poles, but no one on this road has it to their camps at all, power. You see this right here? This is how it's connected to the top. So wind can't blow the top off. There's a bunch of these bolts like this going through the thicker part of the roof. Big washers. It's secured up top. You see, right there's the bolt. Right here, we got all our electrical coming up. Tried to keep it nice and neat. Upstairs is done residentially. Downstairs is done commercially because there's no studs to properly do it to code. All the electrical in this place is up to code, except maybe the end of that. It's wired like a camper. Outside's running clean. I want to start making some pizza now. This thing just started accelerating again in temperature, no longer smoking. Now we're cooking a lot of food. It's that time of year. The bears are about to go into hibernation. They're very, very hungry. So I doubt they're gonna come in here with me here, especially despite the food. But we gotta keep this bear spray on hand. Actually take it out of the case. It's ready to go. I gotta get my belt out of the truck. That should be on me, just in case. You never know. The bears are well fed around here. They're never super skinny looking, but still, they're hungry this time of year. I don't need a bear walking in here, and I want to keep these doors open. Again, it's highly unlikely. The bears aren't extremely hungry. I'm here, but don't need that. All right, everyone, it's time to make pizza. We gotta kind of build a little oven here. We're gonna do this method with a bunch of different types of food, so I gotta try to keep everything clean. The really only way to wash things here is go into the little stream, which was dried up pretty much last week. It's raining, I'm sure it's got a little more to it. It was pretty dry out this fall. The end of summer was dry in this area. Not severe drought, definitely not. It wasn't hot like a couple years ago. It was a super drought. This was, everything looks healthy, it's just dry. The rivers aren't running too strong. But that's gonna change today. It's raining nice. So we're gonna try making some pizza now. We'll make these pizzas right now. Then if I want pizza later, I'll try those out. Wow, we can almost fit 3 in there. Now we can fit 3 in there. We'll have like a little test subject. Although that smells pretty good. Yummy. All right, we're gonna have some pizza sauce. Oh yeah, we're gonna accidentally attract the bear tonight. Yeah, this pizza sauce is gonna go a long way. So we'll probably make pizza again at some point. We only used not even half. Alright, so we're gonna spread that around nicely. I think that's like a medium amount of sauce. Some people like it really thin. Some people really like you to glob it on. I think that's a pretty fair amount of sauce. And it doesn't take that much heat to cook a pizza. It just takes a little bit of time. And there's not a lot of heat. Now things like this, we don't have a way to refrigerate it. I guess I could put it outside. I don't want a bear to take it, so there's always that chance that some animal is going to smell this and take it, and I wouldn't really feel safe using this once it's been out like a day or something. But we are cooking it once again. Going to put a good amount of cheese. I love cheese. Let's put a whole bunch of cheese on there. Glob it on nicely. Wow. I'm using a lot of cheese actually. So if we do make pizza later, we're not gonna have as much cheese. I'm using it all up. Wow. Should have got a bigger bag of cheese. All right, we do got a little in there. We'll try one of those other pizzas later. We'll try to make at least one of them. All right, I could have easily used that up, but. All right, now we got pepperoni, which I love. I'll eat a ton of this stuff right out of the bag. Same with cheese. I love cheese. Okay, I love pepperoni. As a kid, I used to eat entire bags like this in one sitting. I've always loved pepperoni. And we'll just leave that one as a cheese pizza. Pepperoni's delicious. You can also put it all on a tray, and then you just put it in the oven. When it starts curling up, it becomes nice and crispy. It's delicious. I'll show you. It crisps up like a bacon. I should have brought bacon. Bacon pizza. Matter of fact, when I order pizza, I always order double bacon and mushroom. I love that. That's my favorite. So now, we're going to find a way to just put this on top. Hopefully it holds enough heat to cook it. Actually, we're just going to do that. It's like a little oven. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm leaving this on here. It's like a little spacer because I don't want it to get too hot. I also don't want the bottom of the pizza burning before the cheese melts. So I don't know if the pepperoni is going to be able to crisp up, but it'll be alright. As long as it melts the cheese, I'm happy. So I'm going to put that up there on top. This will help hold in some of the heat, I'm hoping. If I don't notice a huge difference, I might try even plugging some of these holes with foil. Actually, yeah, we're not going to use that. We're going to use foil to cover the whole thing. I think that'll work best. Yeah, that's probably the best option I have. This is kind of slippery. I hope I don't find that on the floor. And we can reuse this later because it's not touching anything. I just got a little area to vent. We'll check on that in like 10-15 minutes. Hopefully it cooks us some good pizza. It's starting to pour out again. I hope it pours all night. Just listen to that. There's nothing like the sound of pouring rain on a metal roof. That is so relaxing. I love that sound. I hope it pours all night when I'm sleeping. It's always good to have a little white noise in the background, whether it's a fan or the rain. I hope that keeps up all night. Just listen to that beautiful sound. Alright, that's cooking a lot slower than I expected. It's been about 20 minutes, so that might have to be there a good hour to properly cook. I keep turning it every now and then. So in the time being, I'm going to carve a pumpkin and we'll put the seeds on this tray so as soon as the pizza comes off, we'll start roasting some. So these I might actually put right on the stove. I might. So let's go carve a pumpkin now. Now, the last time I carved a pumpkin, I drew on it first. So this time we're going to be just using a knife. We're not going to be using a Sharpie or anything at first. All right, we got enough seeds. The rest of them I'll throw outside and birds and stuff can eat it. Squirrel will love it. This one had a lot of seeds compared to the one I carved last week. They came out delicious in the oven. I'm just hoping I can properly roast them in here. All right, we'll put this on after the pizza. Now I'm gonna finish this thing up. Not that bad. We'll put a candle in the sky later. All right, everyone. It's now almost 5. Look at that. That's going to attract some squirrels. Don't know about the bear. I've never seen a bear go after that stuff, and I've thrown it in the yard for years. So we made 3 of them. We're going to go put candles in them soon. This one has 1 tooth, a big smile. That one was the toughest one. That's a very hard pumpkin. This one we gave it a little small nose. It's starting to get very, very hot in here. Look at this. 90 degrees. 33 Celsius. Hot, hot. How's our pumpkin, or how's our pizza doing? Finally starting to cook. The cheese melted. Is this starting to get crunchy? Nope. But I just burned my fingertip. It's pretty hot in that oven. It's burning hot. We're actually running over temperature, but it's okay. It'll help cook our pizza. It's so hot in here now that I gotta go upstairs. We gotta close these windows. I mean, we gotta open these windows. With these windows open, it'll start pulling all the hot air out, and it'll start sucking nice air in through the door down there. Now this one here, see, rainwater can get in because there's not much of an overhang on this side, but it's okay. It's not really going to damage anything. It wasn't even hot upstairs, amazingly. Now that we opened that, I can feel the pull. I can feel air getting sucked in here. It'll help cool us down. So I'm gonna go get the candles now out of the truck. Nice looking. Tea light candles, can't even leave those in here. Mice will eat them. Mice will eat anything that you leave in a place like this. Look at all those pumpkin guts. I'm finally starting to actually smell the pizza cooking, which is good. It's been in there now for like an hour. I'll take it out in 10-20 minutes, then we'll go ahead and put all this stuff on. All right, it's 5:30. This pizza's been on there a while. How's it going? All right, I don't think we're ever gonna actually crisp up the pepperoni, so we're gonna go ahead and take our pizza off. Pot holder. Yeah, this one's nice. It's starting to actually crisp up the crust, but I don't think the pepperoni will get to the point where it's gonna curl, but it's nice and warm. It is cooked. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That is actually very hot. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna put this down without possibly wrecking the counter. No. Let's put it right there. Let that cool down for a little bit before I eat it. Now it's time for this, which I don't want to put it on it. I think it'll burn it. I'll just leave it here. Probably gonna take 2 or 3 hours, but better than nothing. It's entertaining messing with the fire. All right, I just went around, grabbed it with the pot holder. I just flipped everything because it is already starting to crisp to my amazement. And over here, look how much heat this thing's producing. 118 degrees, or about 48 Celsius. I bet these brownies are gonna be warm. Even this jar, it's too hot to hold on to indefinitely. And right here by the ceiling, that's hot enough to burn you. I need more ventilation in there. I opened the back door just for now. Look at this. Jack's cheese corn twists. Even the license plate says Jack's. That's so cool. Hasn't been on the road since 1992. All right, here we are on the outside. The rain has just about stopped. The forecast says the next 5 days are completely dry. The rain's supposed to stop in the next couple hours. So right here, this, of course, is very scalding hot, but that's happening from the inside. The wood there is actually barely warm to the touch, so I think we're good as far as that, not causing a fire. We do have screen doors that go over these. We used them during the summer camp last year, but there's no bugs this time of year. It don't really matter. Those screens aren't going to keep out a bear, although I suppose you'd hear it coming in. All right, and as far as the pizza, I shouldn't have put pepperoni on. I was waiting for the pepperoni to crisp. The cheese melted fairly fast. Shouldn't have been on there an hour. Should have been off. It's a little burnt on the bottom. Not horrible. Still going to taste good. This one's a little burnt. But the other one's just nice and crispy. So that one's a little too burnt. So I'll obviously eat the other ones first, and if I'm full, I'll go on to that one. But we got a lot more cooking. We got that snack that's going to be probably done in an hour. That's running hotter than it was before with the pizza. See, it's running super duper hot. And then I'm going to put a whole bunch of these on a tray. Then we got that later on I want to cook up because that'll probably go bad by tomorrow, and that's pretty expensive. Tomorrow we got all the canned foods. All right, everyone. I keep stirring this occasionally like this. Make sure they don't get stuck. Make sure they don't get burned. They're just turning golden brown now. Everything you see that's basically very brown and dark is the actual pumpkin itself that I didn't get off the seeds. But we gotta try it, see if they're crispy yet. They're getting there. A little bit longer though. The middle's still moist. But they are crispy. And they're naturally pumpkin spice flavored. Now it's pizza time. bottom's a little bit overcooked, but that's okay. How's this taste? Pretty good. Letting it just sit there put a little moisture back into the crust. I think this is just super dull. It's cheap from the dollar store. Oh well. It's kind of hard to bite into because of the bottom, but I'll just eat it with a fork. That's all right. All right, everyone, this is all the burnt stuff. I'm gonna go walk that into the woods and leave it in front of a trail camera. So we also got all this, which I'm gonna put on there. That once that crisps up, it's so good. This is what I'm still munching on, the pieces that aren't burnt. Still yummy. Getting a little cooler in here. We're probably gonna have to put more wood on there to be able to crisp this up really nice. I think these are ready. Yep. This thing cooked it perfectly. So now, get this down here. Put this really hot pan I can't touch up here on the pot holder. Now this, that's very hot. I think it's best if we just put this straight down on the stove to get those nice and crispy. I'm gonna open this up. We gotta put more wood in there. All right. This one's a solid piece, not even split. Shove that in there. That'll get going real good in a couple of minutes. Outside is starting to look beautiful. Look at that. The sun's finally starting to come out. Wow, only 5 minutes later. Look at that. Already starting to cook. This is gonna cook faster than I think. Yeah. If I did that in 5 minutes, this will be done, I think, in 20. Plus, we're revving it up. All right, everyone, about a 5-minute walk away from camp. We just left the pizza out here, and it's starting to look beautiful out. The sun's starting to come out. Tomorrow's gonna be an absolutely beautiful day at the truck camp. So we're back here behind the truck camp. It's a nice dark section of forest. Beautiful. And we got a trail camera. Who's gonna eat it, if anyone? It's gonna start getting scary. Nightfall is coming. Ooh, it's starting to smell good in here. About 10 minutes. Not much progress. In fact, it might actually be slowing down it with cooking because this kind of snuffed out the fire temporarily until those logs get going again. Yeah, this was going good, but putting more wood in basically just stalled it. It just paused the cooking. But it's okay. Just give it a little bit. Look at that. It's starting to rage again. But I got to show you the outside. The sky is beautiful. Look at that. The whole truck camp is tinted bright because look at the sky. That's a beautiful sunset. Too bad we don't have a long point of view. It's more beautiful in person. It's so red out here. And look at right in the middle of it. Blue sky starting to come out. Tomorrow's supposed to be perfectly clear. It's gonna be a beautiful day tomorrow. It'll be completely dark in about another half hour. We're going good. I see the jack-o'-lanterns in there. They look so excited. Oh, the sky's no longer pretty. That went away fast. Just went on a little walk to try to get better pictures of it. In here, feeling better since the temperature's now dropping without the sun. These ones in the middle are gonna be cooked before the outsiders. All right, we got that going so hot that I can hear flames up the pipe. So I don't want it to burn in the middle. It's not looking burnt yet. These actually are starting to look nice. We'll just leave it. They're still flexible, but they will become nice and crunchy. I was just gonna try to stir them. Sitting here, that is terrifying. Look at that. It just shut off. I have a security light there and the door's open. That is terrifying. The security light keeps turning on. It's just a tree branch. I hope it is. It was last time I camped here. We don't have a friend there eating pumpkin, do we? All right, everyone. Update time on the solar power bank. It's now 7 o'clock exactly. It's 3.5 hours of operation now. 83. Pretty good. That one light we got will run all night long, basically. And I'll shut that off. Maybe I'll unscrew one upstairs. I'll just have one on upstairs when I'm sleeping. So it doesn't really burn a lot. I've been stirring it around. The grease of the pepperonis is helping themselves cook. These ones are gonna be nice and crispy. Trying to get them all to kind of cook evenly by continuously stirring them around. This works really good at the oven at home, but the oven at home is in a controlled environment. This has a hot spot. I think right now is the best time to take it off when the majority of them are nice and crispy. There's very little that are undercooked and very little that are burnt. So I think this is the best time to be taking it off. And we gotta find it a place to cool. You don't want to sit there. So I guess we'll just stick it down here for now. Let that cool for like 10 minutes before we touch it. Now that it's starting to get late, I'm just puttering around. This was on here to burn some grease off it. And I'm trying to get rid of some of this longer scrap that I don't have a use for. Because I have tried saving lumber in the past and it's just a pain in the butt constantly moving it around. And it never ends up getting really used. So we're just gonna slowly feed that into the fire, let the fire cut it in half. All right, everyone, so it comes with this tray so you can microwave it at home. Comes out fine when it's microwaved, but you're supposed to actually microwave it in this sack too, I believe. There's my knife. I want to cook this up so tomorrow it's going to be sunny, which means I don't want to run the wood stove because it's going to get kind of hot in here tomorrow. So anything that I want to actually heat up, I got to eat tonight. So we got this little pot. Come on. Don't explode on me. It's making a mess. Come on. Knock it off. Ooh. Messy. You can reuse this greasy spoon from the pepperonis. I'll show you how I do dishes out here tomorrow. We gotta walk to the little stream. So that'll break up more when it heats up. We're just gonna slowly cook that on the cooler burner over there. Now I can finally go ahead and try these. All right, so these ones here are probably gonna be perfect. They're crispy like bacon. Mmm. The ones that look burnt are the best. These ones are a little undercooked, but they're still good. It's got a little bit of chewy to it, like jerky. But wow, somehow when you cook these and shrink them, it concentrates the spice. They're much spicier than regular pepperoni at this point. So good, crispy pepperonis. Mm. We're running hot. Just giving that some stirs here and there. Ah, look at the sparks. We're shooting sparks out of the chimney. It's a very crackly fire with a lot of drafting. Look at that. A couple more. Here we go. Every time you hear a big pop in the truck. Well, it's completely wet out. That's not going to start a fire. There's not many times in this climate it would even do that. Here's our little solar security light that keeps popping on for unknown reasons. We thought at one point maybe my reflections and all these shiny things was doing it. Maybe. So it's getting hot. Real hot. Look at that. Wow. All right, this is starting to rapidly boil. I was on there a while, so take that off. And I'm probably gonna use this right here because we did forget buns. I'll try to use that. I'm not really in the mood for more pizza, so the leftover cheese, I'll eat some more pepperoni, then the leftover pepperoni will walk that out in front of the trail cameras also tonight. That won't go bad. And everything else in canned foods, the bananas, we'll eat that tomorrow cold because tomorrow is supposed to be a bit warmer and this place bakes in the sun and I don't want to run this anymore, so I'll probably run this for a couple more hours just to play with it, but I want that thing out before bed because it's just too hot in here and the security light just came on again. All right, those pieces of wood burned in half. I was able to shove them all the way in there. I don't think we're gonna add any more fuel to this fire. I kind of want it to go out so I can get some sleep. Now, sometimes bottles explode in fires. Let's shove it in there. Shut the door. Oh, the door doesn't want to shut. Oops. Oh, it did. You heard that? It went boom. Ah, there's ash in the way. The door didn't want to latch. Yeah, I'll have to sweep out the edge. Gotta grab my little scoop. So the fire decided to spit that paper and aluminum thing back out. Shove it back in there. Let's try to clean up the door a little bit so it can shut. Good. Now I want to head upstairs just to see how hot is it up here, about the level of my head if I was sitting. Yeah, it's like 79 degrees, 25 Celsius. Yeah, it's kind of hot up here. Feels like heated floors though, from all the heat rising up here. Temperature upstairs is about the same. Feels the same. A little cooler maybe. Alright, I ate some of the pulled pork, but before I go ahead and toss it all out, I'm just gonna let it sit around for an hour or two, see if I get hungry again. Cooked way too much food tonight. This should be cooling down now. We're not putting anything else in there. All right, we're having a nice peaceful night. You don't hear many cars now at this hour out on the main road. It's nice, getting quiet. All I can hear is some sort of running water in the distance. And I'm just slowly snacking, sitting here. The stove is starting to cool down. It's now into the too cold range. It's just some hot coals. It's actually nice running it really low because it is starting to get a little chilly out. The pumpkins are just about out. They all had 3 candles. 2 of them in there burned out. 2 of them in here burned out. 1 of them in there burned out. So once those candles all die, I think I'm going to bring them upstairs and light them. It'll be like a nice little night light as I sleep. It's actually a very pleasant night. There's the truck camp, only 1 light on in there at the moment. It's just very pleasant out. It doesn't know whether or not to sprinkle or be foggy. It's perfectly still, decently warm. I hear some trickling water, so I bet the stream is flowing again. It wasn't last week. I want to go take a walk to the stream. Now I'm impressed. Look at that, 77% left on the power bank still. I know we're only running 1 light bulb, but it has exceeded my expectations. And we'll be able to run a light all night somewhere. I want to get that thing down a bit because we're going to figure out tomorrow what the solar panels can do. Tomorrow's going to be a nice sunny day. Now that it's getting chilly out, it's actually kind of nice just having this thing here. I'm going to let that singe for like an hour, maybe throw 1 more piece on just to keep it going really slowly, which is really nice. Up front here, turn the light on. And I'm kind of curious, I want to open this engine compartment up. I haven't been in there in a while. I also want to get a little tiny dustpan out of the truck. I cleaned this a few years back, but the mice, see, they stole some of the insulation I was storing in here from a camp video. All this mouse poops on the shelf. Up here, there's more mouse poops. But I condensed all the junk all up here. This is still stuff I probably don't need. Like electric fence insulators, random poles, Christmas tree stand, just a bunch of random stuff. So I'll clean all this up, then I'll move all that down here, then I'll clean that shelf. Then we're gonna put mothballs everywhere when we leave here. Gotta be conservative with the power. To make sure we have enough to go all night. This time of year, the sun doesn't come up until around 7 a.m. So I want to open this compartment up. These all went out, so I'm going to put these upstairs into the attic. That'll be my little night light. All right. How does this open up? I want to get a flashlight. Never know what kind of scary monster could be in there. Let's have a look in the engine compartment. No, there's no spiders because I'm going to let this rest on my head. Okay, see, there's no engine in the truck, but you could tell it was a big leaker. Look at all that. It was a leaky engine. In the front of it, just a rotted piece of plywood. Nothing really in here. Oh my gosh! That's Santa's hat! What else might be under here? There's a Frisbee. The transmission looks like it was also leaky. Or that could have been traveling back from the engine. So, I was thinking to see, things can easily get in here through the wheel wells. Raccoons and other stuff could easily find a way to get in here. But I could easily just leave a cooler in here because this would be really cold during winter camps. Wow, look at some of the frame just rusted through. It's amazing. Oh, come on. Out of my way, mousetrap. Alright, shut. So these mouse traps, I gotta redo these. You see this one here? Looks like it's got mold growing on the peanut butter. Mice won't go after it if it has mold on it. Also, if you try putting peanut butter over the mold, it's just gonna spread over in a period of a few days. These mouse traps are so reliable. It has such a sharp jaw on it. It always gets them real fast. It's heavy enough they can't run away with it like the wooden ones. This kind is unreliable. The mouse goes into this hole for peanut butter, and when it tries to lift it up to fit in there, that's when it goes off. But these white ones are very reliable. So I'll be setting... Whoa! What was that? Something just ran by. I think it was a mouse. They're going to love those pumpkin seeds, but as long as they stay outside... I'm also afraid to open this sometimes. We could find a use for that glove box. All right, pumpkins. Y'all going upstairs. Got the tea light candles. Put that upstairs. Shut the light downstairs off. We'll be back down here though. All right, we got some good night lights now. Nice. Whoa, look at that. Perfect. Those will run for a good 4 hours on those candles. The heat's drying them out. The covers on the jack-o'-lanterns have rapidly shrunk. But that's okay. We'll leave these outside for some animal can eat them when we leave. Time to go back downstairs. Boom! Come on down. Alright, got my toothbrush out. I don't think I'm going to be eating anything else before bed. I'm full. But this won't go to waste. We're going to put that outside in front of the trail camera. This is all my dishes. We're going to walk to the stream tomorrow morning. Actually, I'm going to walk this to the stream right now. I'm going to grab some stream water, let that start soaking, then we'll pick it up in the morning. Who knows? A friendly bear might even lick it clean for us. I've seen bears in the area, but never actually right here. So this is likely to be eaten by a raccoon, not actually a bear. All right, off into the woods. All right, we're back out in the woods, 10 o'clock. Nothing ate my pizza. Hopefully another day that'll be gone, we'll have something cool here eating everything. We got the fire running really low. Can you see the mist in the air? Can you see that at all? I can see it. Oh, you can see it right now. Look at that. If I put it straight up in the air. Look at that. It doesn't know if it wants to be mist or fog because it's not enough to get you wet. It's basically fog. big fog, or whatever you want to call it. It's really pleasant. I love these moist nights like this. And inside here, I'm running the stove really low. It is going to be chilly tonight, so maybe it is a good idea to let it run really low like this. Now, obviously, I need 3 hands to carry the camera here, my flashlight, and all this dishes. Actually, I got a magnetic light right below, so I only need 2 hands, actually. It sure is dark and scary out here. Everything's dripping. It's not actually raining anymore. I chose the worst spot to get down to the stream. It's got dense tree cover here. All right, we're definitely close to the stream. You can just tell how the ground looks. Then we'll come back down here in the morning and get the dishes. I'll bring some soap, wash them up real nice. You can tell this area floods. Let's look at the layout. All right, not flowing that much. It's not gonna flood and steal our dishes. All right, let me take this off. This is a waterproof light in case I ever dropped it. It's a diving lamp. So what I'm gonna do is, ooh, a slug. I'm just gonna, this is actually deeper than I thought. This wasn't even flowing last week. Just gonna sink all my dishes, just like that. Sink everything. And I will be back for that in the morning. Who knows, maybe something will actually go in there and eat it. There's no fish in this little creek, but there are, what do you call them? Mud puppies. Maybe something will eat that, but that's just a little flow of water. That'll probably be basically spotless in the morning. It'll definitely soften up and take all the food pretty much. That'll be an easy job in the morning. Just let it soak. This would be a pretty scary spot for my flashlight to just want to die. There's no lights around here. It's just pitch dark. I wouldn't be able to see the truck camp because it's up and over this little hill. We'll be back in a few minutes. Look at these old logs. They're so mossy. It's beautiful. Those are before my time. This is the kind of night you bump into a tree, it shakes down everything onto you, and you can become soaking wet. All right, everyone. As the night persists, it's almost 11 o'clock. I threw a little more wood in there just because it's getting a little chilly. Still got to get my blanket out of the truck. All right, everyone. It is going to be midnight in 4 minutes. We got the fire going good. I better put another log on it to make sure it keeps going good. We're going to go for a little walk down the road to the main road. It's a nice little walk. I'm going to bring this flashlight. It's going to be so cool using this in the fog. This makes such a powerful beam. Wow. Can you see all those stars? Look at that. There's so many stars. I can't believe it. All right, let's get the big flashlight on. I love when the grass starts turning white with all the dew on it. It's so pretty. It's also nice walking through it with open-toed shoes like this. Just feeling the cold dew run through them. Ooh, we saw a moth. It's the only creature we've seen all day. The river seems to be really gushing down here. This is not part of that little stream. This is where the little stream goes if you walk a good 20 minutes or so. Try to get down there. Oh, slippery leaves. Beautiful little river. You see, it's not flooding or anything. It's kind of normal looking. Haven't been down here in a bit. Let's. Oh. Nice. Beautiful. You can see, look at the debris stuck up here. This thing gets way over my head during the spring thaw and stuff. Crystal clear water. It's not even that cold, honestly. Beautiful place. Pretty steep getting out of here now. Accidentally hit the selfie button. These leaves are so slippery. Get back up to the road. There's a little parking spot here where people go fishing. All right, we're gonna walk out to the main road. I think I could probably do this walk in only about 15 minutes or so. It's nice out. Now you see this old road. This isn't an old logging road. No. We can see it anywhere. There's actually some old pavement. This used to be a old road, but it's not used anymore. The new road is through the woods quite a bit. They did it to avoid, I think it's covered too close to the river, something like that. They found a better way though. If I find any, I'll show you the... Yeah, that's actually asphalt you're seeing, all this. It's very degraded. This hasn't been a road in like 50 years or more. Used to be though. Oh wow. Look at that beautiful moss. It's like a carpet. Look at that. Beautiful, just like a carpet. People ask me all the time, do you get scared walking in the middle of nowhere by yourself in the middle of the night like this? Honestly, only when the camera's off. When I have the camera going, it makes me feel like someone else is here with me. I think because I'm constantly talking during these vlogs when I'm out here walking. It does keep me company talking to all you guys who watch the video. It does. Even if I'm walking in the woods on a phone call, it, for some reason, doesn't even offer the same, whatever you'd call it. But as soon as I shut the camera off for these few segments that I find a little boring, oh, that moss is nice. It is a little bit scary out here sometimes. We can see all these twists and curves in the old road. You can see why they'd want to get rid of this and make it a straight continuous road. Let me shut this off for a sec. You hear the rushing water? It's that same river down there. And I wish the truck camp was right next to that bigger river. That would be so awesome. Just the noise of it. You can't hear that from the truck camp really. Not really at all. Beautiful birch trees. They didn't even really start turning yet. They're still for the most part green. Look at that. That'll be bright yellow. Give it a week. A couple nights of very cold temperatures. It'll trigger it to start turning really nicely. I realized driving down all these dirt roads, very aggressive tires, they do help a lot. It also helps not sandblast the whole undercarriage by picking up rocks and flinging them really hard. Yeah, it doesn't do that. Because with really aggressive treads, the rocks can't get crammed in there and picked up to be able to be thrown. The rocks aren't big enough. Now this area coming in, see how it looks like it's 2 lanes? During tourist season, a lot of people will park here just to use the river. See those little trails, it looks like everywhere. That's why it gets, almost dropped the camera. suddenly big. The way I'm holding my camera, that finger just fell asleep and was like, camera going down. Oh, look! The birdhouse is there still. Now the water's getting real loud. Can we see it? It sounds really loud here. There's a little bit of a trail. You see how it's kind of disturbed on the top of that log? Something's been going through here. I don't know if it's a human or not, but ouch! Let's get a peek. It sounds like it's moving really fast. Yeah, look, it's moving pretty swiftly there. But as you see, it's not even that fast moving. Yeah, you see something's been walking through here. Might be a person, since it's in the area that's wide. All right, let's keep walking. Beautiful amount of stars. All right, get the big light back on. We should be almost to the main road by now. It's beautiful out tonight. Nice crisp night. It's kind of chilly, but if you keep moving, you stay nice. Traffic's really calmed down. Oh, we're getting close to the road. Although this road kind of runs parallel for a little bit. Just because you see the power line there doesn't mean we're actually up to the road yet. Hoping to see something out here, whether it be a raccoon, something friendly. And some garbage there. The thing that sounds like a hairdryer, a lot of people say, is the cooling fan on my big light. It just gets so hot. You know, we'll come back here soon. I would definitely want to come back to the truck camp in the middle of winter. Just the dead of winter. That'll be so nice. Can't really get to it when there's too much snow on the ground, but it's not that bad of a walk either. I would love to have a year where we get like 4 feet of snow on the ground at once. That'd be awesome. We haven't had that in a few years. Hopefully we get like a negative 40 degree night. Negative 40 is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit, which is cool. Just shut this off for a minute and just listen. All I can hear is the sound of water in the distance rushing heavily. It's beautiful out. Look at the trees covered in dew. Surprised we're not seeing frogs hopping everywhere. They usually like nights like this. Let me take out that moonbeam flashlight is what I call it. All right, compared to that other one, that looks super dim, right? Brighter, brighter, brighter. It's a pretty decent flashlight. Nothing like the other one, but what's cool is when you hold the button down, it makes this awesome beam. Look at that, you can see the fog. Woo, that is awesome. It highlights way down the road. Let me zoom in. Way down the road, you can see it. Look at that. All around that corner. That must be maybe at least 300 feet, 100 yards. Look at that. All the way down there. Anywhere. That beam is awesome. It's awesome. But for some reason, it only lets me have it on that powerful setting for 20 seconds at a time. Then on the screen right here, you see it slowly counting down. Woo. This flashlight is so cool. I don't know why it won't let me use the beam without it on super bright. It's either every light is on or nothing. I wish it would be just the beam so I'm not lighting up in front of me too. That'd be cool. But see, it's like a laser. I love this thing. Shine it straight into the sky. Look at that. It's like one of those airport lights. One more time. Boom. It's like holding a lightsaber. I love this thing. I wish it was more foggy. It honestly was like 20 minutes ago. But go ahead and shut this flashlight off. And I should have went for a walk like this last week when we were doing construction on the truck camp, because last week we had a full moon. It was the brightest moon of the season, the harvest moon. It looked like a solar eclipse when I took pictures of it. It was just so bright, beautiful. All right, time to walk back. So, I now know it is a 22-minute walk since I left. Honestly, a little less than 20, because I sat there messing around for a few minutes. Good to know. It takes 20 minutes to walk this road at a steady pace. I'm getting a little scared now. Gotta start speeding it up. I hear a lot of howling in the woods. They probably don't want anything to do with me. They're probably just curious, but I hear lots of howling. We gotta get back. All right. I haven't heard the howl in a minute or two. So, the animals don't want anything to do with you. Humans are more likely to do anything to you by far than animals out in the woods. Look at these, how these mushrooms about to come up. Nice moist night. They've been waiting for this rain. It's been dry for a while. These trees are so beautiful. A couple weeks, all those leaves will be down. This was a nice walk. It's good to stay up, be active. Perfect time of day. The road is nice and quiet. The road is literally just 50 or 70 feet through the woods here. That's why you can hear it when the road becomes busy in the daytime. It's a fast road there. But it's nice and quiet, beautiful this time of day. That might be bear tracks, and those tracks haven't been rained on. You hear that? There's a tree frog somewhere nearby. All right, it's about 1 o'clock. I'm back. It is a lot warmer in here because the wood stove, I'm still sure is hot. Look at that. Doing good. I left the lights on because I really want to know how long that lasts. We only got 6 hours until daybreak, so that'll last. Just running one light. This is still nice and hot. Look at that. Still putting off some good heat for us. Of course, we can't touch that now. Gotta use the handle. Doing good. Down to coals. Running the stove nice and slow like this is actually perfect for this weather. We don't have to make it rage because we're not cooking food. I'm gonna go ahead and throw another big log in there. And right before bed, I don't know if I will put more in or not because it is about to get considerably hotter because, well, I don't want a bear coming in while I'm sleeping. We gotta shut all this. And this locks from the inside. There's no way to open that from outside. This latch has never worked, but this one does. And the only way to open it is I just grab this bar and pull it down. And yeah, Can't open from outside. Over here, we're gonna shut this door right before bed. I'm gonna be up another half hour, so. Alrighty. Just brushing up my teeth before bedtime. Go ahead and shut the door. Forgot to spit. You know what I have been thinking about doing in here as another improvement for the place? It would help out a lot, especially in the winter. You see how I'm doing dishes? Well, older houses would have a sink. You'd have to go to a well. You'd have to go to a river, carry a bucket back into the house, pour it into the sink, or heat it up on the wood stove. Then you got warm water. Pour it in the sink. You do all your dishes. You do all that. Then you just pull the plug. Goes right through, usually out the wall with a pipe. Or in this situation, if it were right here, a little sink basin, we could drill a hole there in the dash and it could just go right onto the ground. Yep, really old primitive houses. You'd have to bring it in from a well, pour it into your sink, and it would just usually dump right outside the wall. No plumbing really at all. So we're going to bed now. It's about 2:30, and awesome. We did really good with the power. So turn the light on upstairs. I'm gonna shut the lights off down here. Finally got my blanket. Go throw that up there. I have earplugs too. Got the clock. Oops. Where did my thumbtack go? I forgot I brought in a thumbtack. I better find that. Oh no, where's the thumbtack? It's clear. So it's probably... I found it. I stepped on it. Thankfully it wasn't upright. Alright, this thing is still very decently warm. But, ouch. I'm not gonna put anything else in there because now that I shut even more ventilation off, I don't know how hot it's gonna get in here. So, leave my shoes downstairs. Gonna go upstairs. All my candles are out. I gotta relight them. Yeah, it's kind of hot up here. And now, with the downstairs shut, there's no longer anywhere for air to come in downstairs, so there's no pull, not forcing it out. There's no wind outside, so nothing's blowing through up here. Not really, not at a big level. So it is going to be a little toasty up here for a bit until that stove dies out completely. But I'm going to start the jack-o'-lanterns up. Well, I can't say good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. I slept a pretty good long time. I went to bed around 3, and I guess I needed the sleep. It finally caught up with me not getting sleep all week. But that's okay. Today's a nice sunny day, clear skies. I hear a lot of crows. They're probably going after that pizza crust and other stuff. I can't see back there in the woods where that trail camera is, but I'm sure that's why I've been hearing a lot of squawking this morning. Light's still on. That means that power bank is about to another 3 hours go on 24 hours. But we're going to go see what it says now, and we're going to hook up the solar panels. I want to see how fast the solar panels work now that we got full sun. So we're heading downstairs. We're gonna see what we got. Impressive, 46%. So this thing would go a day and a half with just one bulb running. Everything, you'd have a good quarter of a day at least. Stove, oh my gosh. That's why it was so comfortable. It never got down cold. Last night's low temperature was 38, and it's still warm. This thing still has heat in it, so that is amazing. That's what happens when you burn hardwoods. They stay hot for a long time, which is awesome. Let's see. Maybe it'll even start back up for us. Just curious if that'll start by itself. We'll check in on that later. All right, everyone. Let's figure out these solar panels. That's the wall charger, and that's the car charger for the power bank that I use. All right, so it's none of this. There we go. That's kind of cool. This is where it goes into the solar panel, and it gives you a USB-C and a USB so you can charge your phone off of just the solar panel. That's really convenient. And as you can see, it's zip tied. So I've never used these before. I've only been using the power bank for the past 2 years, but it came with these, and it's got a ton of adapters here. I'm assuming that one is the one it's going to actually use. All right, input only allows for one of them. So let's hope the solar panel number 2 has some sort of adapter with it, because these were purchased at the same time. So why would they give me 2 of them if we can't connect them somehow? Weird. Really weird. How are we going to connect both solar panels at once? There we go. There we go. We got it. And it's not the adapter. It'll be this one. Plugged it in. Plugged it in. And these solar panels get really big, see? Let's go lay them outside. All right, everyone, we got the solar panels lined up back here. We're gonna take this wire, which conveniently reaches into the truck and conveniently doesn't latch on the bottom, so we could have these wires coming in here even during really cold weather. now we're gonna kill the power to the place, disconnect it, and all right, plugged it in. All right, it says charging. All right, the input, let's get this thing off the screen. I never removed this thing, even though I've owned it a few years. Input, we are getting 25, 26 watts of power out of the solar panels. So how long would that take to charge? Exact time right now, 12:20 in the afternoon. So we're gonna let this go all day. We're not gonna use any lights in here. What do you think that's gonna get to with this input? Leave in the comments what you think. I think we'll get to about 70 by nightfall. We'll take our reading at 6 o'clock. We'll give it about 6 hours. We'll just leave this thing here charging, and we will be back. It's a partly sunny day. The sunshine comes and goes. I don't know, maybe we'll combust. Maybe that fire will start back up. It's so cold it might just stall out. We'll see. All right, out to the trail camera location. Something was ripping through there a little bit. Doesn't look like it ate very much, so we'll leave the trail camera a second night, see if anything shows up tomorrow. Wow, the sun just came out again. That means the solar panels have full sun now. Look at that, the truck camp looks beautiful with the mountain in the background. Awesome. All right, the solar panels are now in full sun, full sunshine hitting them. The truck camp's gonna start getting hot on the second floor now with the lack of insulation. That metal roofing heats up like a metal playground slide on a hot summer day. I think the fire is starting to get going too. Wow, that sunlight is strong down there. Look at that. Blinding. In person, that's like a mirror of that aluminum floor. From lighting these 3 times and running them about 12 hours, look how much the lids shrunk, especially the white one. The other ones are almost unfazed, but then again, the candles are closer to this one's top. We'll just leave these outside and a squirrel or something can eat them. Squirrels love eating leftover pumpkins. Super hot again. This thing started back up nicely. All right, let's go to the stream and get those dishes done. Oh, wow, the water level definitely dropped since last night. Even that burnt on stuff seems to be kind of loose. A perfect natural scrub brush, a clump of moss. Ooh, a slug. The sand helps break down stuff. It's very abrasive. If you ever have grease on yourself out in the middle of nowhere, put dirt all over your hands, or sand especially. It helps get it off. Nice and clean. We're gonna let that dry off for a little bit. We're gonna put more wood inside it now. Oh yeah, there's flames going in there now. I wanna get this thing going again because I want to crisp up some more pepperonis. In the meantime, while it's not running that hot, we're just gonna try to dry the dishes a little bit. I'm gonna use one of the spoons I just cleaned that has a piece of moss still on it. Good as a fly. We're gonna have some chili. It's gonna be lunch. We missed breakfast. I'm just gonna eat it cold out of the can. Oh wow, look at this. What did I say earlier? I was getting like 21 watts or something. Now that it's full sun, it's getting like 120 watts. Wow. Now, it went up to 53% now. It only climbed 6% in the past hour and a half, but the majority of that time it was cloudy. Now that the sun finally came out, hopefully we can start up more. All right, everyone, I just had a can of chili, just had a pie, had one of the brownies, decent lunch, had a banana. So we're gonna just throw the peel out the door. And the box. That fire is now burning super hot again. So, get my pan out. Had a little bit of water in it, but that's okay. We can reuse this piece of foil. These have been unrefrigerated for over a day, but it's okay. I'm gonna cook them. I love these pepperonis that are crisped up like that. Alrighty, pepperonis. That should be good. That should be done in like a half hour or something. We are definitely running really hot. That only took 10 minutes to cook to perfection. Let it cool down and enjoy. All right, everyone, it's now 5 o'clock, and these solar panels are barely producing any juice now that they're in the shade, and it's at 60%. I don't think it's going to climb more than another percent or two. There's also a lot more flies coming in today since it's warmer. The wood stove, we still got it going. It's nice to have that thing going. It's very entertaining when you're bored. So what I learned today based on how the solar system is going, if I was to come here for just a day, I could run all the lights as long as I bring the power bank here charged. But as it's charging, today was almost all full sun, not completely. So we could run a light or two all night long during the nighttime hours with no problem for the amount of solar we're producing in the day. But we cannot have the lights on like yesterday all day and all night. That's how this system will work. So it's working as intended pretty much. Just about. I didn't expect much more out of this. It went longer than I thought. As far as it actually charging up, that's going about how I thought. All right, everyone, we only got about an hour of daylight left, and look at this thing now. It's dim out. Look what it's producing. It was producing 120 something earlier. Now it can barely get anything out of it. I doubt that's even going to budge another notch up. But that is enough power to run 1 or 2 light bulbs all night, so we're good. We're good. So, this system does work. That's nice to see. And look at this, we have a whole family of flies that's coming in here now. They like the food since it's warmer today. Also, when you're in the country, you get what's called cluster flies. I don't know if this is what they are, but it's a group of flies that like to hang out on the ceiling of your house usually. So this thing's still running. This has been running non-stop now for like the past 20 something hours. I'm just keeping it going nice and slow. We're running it real slow. Like, see with this log I'm shoving in here now. I'm just trying to get some of the ashes out so it can lay flat. That'll keep it going for like 2 hours on low. Nice and low. Turn the damper a little bit so it doesn't burn as fast. Nice. This thing isn't that hot. It's just like having a radiator in the room. We're not running it too hot. Outside temperature now is about, 65 degrees. And it's actually really nice. But Just having this little thing that'll keep the chill out all night. All right, I'm outside now. You can see there's smoke coming out of there. We're running it really, really slowly. So slowly that I can leave my hand there forever. It's not producing that much heat. Look up in the tree. There we got a little pumpkin seed thief. The squirrel right here has been going down repeatedly down to the pumpkin seeds I left by the door. It's hilarious. Look at it leap. It can really go through those trees. Cool. All right, it is now 5:54 at night this time of year, and look at this. Look what it's producing now. Now we're done. We're done. We can tell we're just about done. I'm about to clean up the solar panels. We're done. Yeah. So sun's about to go down. Technically, it's gonna be light out for like another hour, 2 hours where I could actually see. But now that the sun is behind all the trees, we're not getting anything. Solar panels apparently work at half capacity when it's shady. The UV is still going through the sun, but now there's no UV at all, so nothing really. The next time I come out here, I don't know if it's going to be in the middle of winter or if I'll wait until spring. Maybe the ground being frozen would be a good thing. I'm not sure. But I need to jack this thing up and maybe shove some of these bricks under somewhere, because you see how it's in there kind of far? I got to find somewhere else, maybe right under this leaf spring. Maybe that would. Or maybe I could stack them right here under the frame. Because if I put them there, we're going to have even more bounciness. I gotta get bricks in there somehow, which means I also have to jack this thing up. What would you estimate this thing weighs? The strongest floor jack I have is only 1,500 pounds. I'd say easily in each corner 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. So I'm gonna need to buy one of those really cheap, heavy-duty Harbor Freight jacks, I think, just for this one job. I have no other way to lift this thing up. Or should I just leave it and not really care? It doesn't bother me that it bounces around. I'm just worried about it falling off the crooked stack of bricks. Because you see, look at the bumper. It's not like it's going to tip over. It can't really fall very far. All right, everyone. We're getting ready for night 2 of sleeping. Let's try not to stay up until 3 a.m. again. It's 9 o'clock now. So, it's nice and toasty in here. Tonight actually feels colder than yesterday, probably because there's a slight breeze. So this is still running beautifully. We want to keep it running. Throw another, throw this massive one in there. Just want to keep ourselves warm in here for a while. I can't believe how efficient this has been today. I've only had to throw a big chunk like that in every 4 hours or something. Just running it nice and slow. All right, we got to go clean up these solar panels because we know they're not doing anything. How are we doing? I've had one light in here for a couple of hours. We're doing awesome. All right, we got solar panels to clean up. I should have done this earlier. These things are covered in dew. We're covered in dew. We'll leave the back door open. This is the kind of weather it's actually very, very pleasant out at the moment. You know, I'm gonna leave them like that overnight. The fire dries it out in here. These are covered in dew. I want these to dry off before I put them away where they might not be used for another year. Alright everyone, I got enough battery to use 2 lights for a while, just while I'm cleaning. So we got mouse traps everywhere. I'm not taking that again. Another mouse trap. Got this thing running pretty hot. I loaded more firewood in here from the outside, so if I come here and it's really cold in the winter, I don't have to go back and forth in the freezing cold to get this thing going nice. Some of that's a little damp, it rained, but it'll dry out nicely in here over the next month or so. Just swept these shelves off. There was so much poop on there. I couldn't believe how many mouse poops there were in the course of a couple years, because I deep cleaned this whole thing years ago. These are all new mouse traps. Those are the ones with moldy peanut butter. They don't like that, so those will come home with me. We will throw them in the dishwasher. So right here, these things smell absolutely awesome. I just opened a second pack and threw them all around. The thing is, they smell really good, but the ones I threw in here a day ago, I don't smell at all. So that being said, I don't think they'll work. And I think they'll be trash next time I come out here. All right, everyone. I'm gonna go to bed soon. I'm gonna hang out in the upstairs. Just leave that one unscrewed. Gonna shut the door for the night. I've never put a lock on the inside, but maybe that's a good idea. I kind of like how when you're sitting back in here, even if there was someone here at the door, they can't see you in here. You have to be standing like here, because no one can see around these walls if there was ever someone out there. That's why I keep that one covered. It's nice and private. If this was a big window, I'd need some kind of tension rod with a curtain, because that would be really open, especially in the winter when none of those bushes are there. It's really wide open there. Does anyone remember what this sign was used for? What camping video that was? That was the building an ice tent video with chicken wire, just spraying it with the hose repeatedly until it froze into a big shell. Then we slept in it. So I'm just gonna hang out in the loft for a while now. We can relight the jack-o'-lanterns. I'm gonna sit up there for a bit. I just put this really massive piece in there. We call that an all-nighter. And I'm definitely saving this all-nighter here for some time in the winter. Right before bed, we'll throw that in. Look how big that piece of wood is. That's a big one. That's like twice as big as anything I've thrown in here this whole time. There's also another one down there. So that would barely fit in here. It would have to be down all the way to Kohl's for that big one to ever fit. So that's burning really nice. I want to turn it to half. I want to slow down its burn a whole ton, because I want that to last all night. I also don't want to get baked here, because that could easily run real hard right now. So, just making sure it's running nice, making sure I didn't close it too much. I think we're going good. All right, let's go up for the night. accidentally warmed my shoes up here. Trying to keep it clean. You know, it would have been kind of nice to be able to see down here into this dark area. If I ever add more wiring or have a reason to open up any of these electrical boxes, I kind of want to put a 3-gang box here. Have 2 switches. It'd be nice to have another light to turn on down here just to look around in case I hear anything scary. Tonight turned out to be a lot colder than we thought it was going to be. Right here, I can literally feel hot air coming up from downstairs. This is going to be awesome in the winter. Look, all their faces kind of got deformed from all the candles. This one really curled up. Look at that. That actually smells yummy. This next one has a large overbite that it developed as it's deforming from the heat drying it out. That had a good 1/2 inch of clearance when we originally carved it. This one hasn't deformed at all. I don't like how dim they are. I was putting 3 the other day. I tried to get away with just 1. It'll look cool with the light out, but I kind of want to sit with them for a bit, so we got to add some. All right, now we got 3 lights in them, and they look a lot better. Look on the inside. Look how many burnt out candles are in there. So many old burnt out candles. In here too. Where'd it go? Here it is. There's like a big mayfly in here. Look at that. I crushed a mosquito over here somewhere. Here it is. Haven't seen one of those in a bit. Look who we got today. Now we got an earwig in here. These things are always coming in my house. It's so annoying. You find them everywhere. They'll go into a half-eaten bag of chips. They'll crawl right through the rolled up part, start eating. These warm days bring everyone out, don't they? Now we have a daddy long leg up here. We got another one. Tonight is the attack of the earwigs. Having a bedtime snack out here. They put this over here to keep the bananas fresher for longer. If you buy bananas, you can just put a piece of foil or something over the stem. It stops them from rotting. Took me a little bit. Figured out how to open the screen. Now I can just throw leftovers out there. I heard something walking in the bushes a little while ago. Probably nothing though. There's a lot of mayflies coming in here tonight. It's so peaceful out here at night. Very peaceful. Don't hear any traffic now. Just completely silent. If I listen real carefully, I can hear that river way, way in the distance. We need some spider friends to move into here because there's a lot of flies up in the ceilings. We need some spiders in here. You can even see the rusty spots. This is where the old cinder blocks were holding the original roof on. Just reused it. I kept the dirty side on the inside so it won't rust as fast on the outside. Look who came to visit me in the bed. Running away. Doesn't want to be touched. Down into the crack. Good night, everyone. See you in the morning. Good morning, everyone. I need to start cleaning up in here so we can get out of here today. I gotta clean up this bed, the clock. The pumpkins are coming with me. Those will be thrown in front of a trail camera in my woods. I'm thinking something will want to chew on them, especially as the trees start losing their leaves. There's rapidly this time of year less and less food in the woods. Those 2 bananas will be my breakfast. I had 2 bananas last night as a snack because I got hungry. Have to take the candles. Mice will eat that. They'll eat the bed. They'll even eat the solar panels because they're made out of this mesh. We got to take the pot holders with us. We got to take the paper towels with us until I find some kind of... I need to bring a Tupperware bin or something mice can't get into here so I can leave all kinds of things here. I didn't use toilet paper. I did take a poop break today, but I brought paper towels out with me. Paper plates are always convenient out here because you can just burn them instead of going to do dishes. The wood stove is completely off. I can't sense any heat in that. It didn't go through last night. We got clean dishes there to bring home. And the solar generator, I went down there about a half hour ago, was at 25%, so we can clean this all up in an hour. I'll just turn all the lights on. Yeah, we can afford to waste the rest of the power. I plan on it being really cold the next time I come here. And this right here, the bottom of this that might get wet from dripping rain on the roof is made out of pressure-treated wood. In the past week, it appears that it's already even shrunk. It'll shrink even more by the next time we come out. As it shrinks, these cracks get bigger. I'm going to have to bring out another can or 2 of spray foam. Same thing went over here. That will make a big difference come winter. We need to seal these cracks up. A mouse will even nibble on earplugs. I've seen it before because they taste like earwax, which is delicious when you have no food. Ooh, they're full of fruit flies today. Wow, just from the sun, this wall is getting hot enough to burn you. How are we doing down here? 24%, so We're definitely not going to use that up. We got 2 lights down here. I just swept the floor, put the chair up, got most of my stuff out of here. Still got to put the solar panels in the truck. I'm leaving those cans of food there. They'll be fine, even if they freeze. This is a weird one here. On my old food channel, I always mention how plastic is semi-permeable. I don't see anywhere this leaked. Sometimes mice will bite it to get a drink and they'll just let it leak all over the floor, but this is not appearing to be leaking, and it lost a good amount of its water somehow. The upstairs is gonna start climbing real fast. It's gonna start baking, getting real hot up there with that metal roof. But that's okay. I only made this place for sleeping at night. Stove is off. Look at the amount of stuff we track in over a period of 2 days. It just gets stuck in the dew. It gets stuck. You just track it right in. Look at all that. Nice cleaned up. Hopefully there's not too many dead mice when we get back, but I'd rather to clean dead mice off the floor than clean poop off every single surface. Look at all the candles I use too. Use a lot of them in those jack-o'-lanterns. The clock is okay, even though I dropped it from the 2nd floor. It's still working nicely. I had these, had a banana, and we're just about ready to pack up out. Last and final walkthrough. Am I forgetting anything that shouldn't be here? This thing feels completely cold. Yeah, can't even find a spark in there. We'll empty that out next time we come in here, just in case there is something smoldering. I don't want to just throw it outside. We'll leave that food there. That's the last thing we got to take. Upstairs. Forgetting anything? Nope. Nice and dark. It's honestly getting super hot in here right now. Just sitting in the sun. We did very good. We could have used double lights all night, I think. That kills the power to everything. Unplug it. And that's the last item we got to get out of here. We'll burn all that scrap next time we're here. I'm going to keep the windows upstairs open for ventilation. Downstairs, back door. That door's locked. And we gotta lock this door up. There was a caterpillar in the door. All right, let's go check the camera before we roll on out. I just noticed the driver of this delivery truck sure got into a scuffle back in the early 90s. Look at that. They sideswiped something. Nice. Every shred of food is gone. Even the plate, look at this. Look at the plate. Just chewed into pieces. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of crows on there. I heard a lot of squawking earlier on, and yeah. We're gonna check the trail camera. I'll add it to the footage. I'm gonna edit that together right now, actually. Wow, look at the size of that tree stump. Maybe that was some of the old growth, because this is all former logging land. And we got a trail camera. Who's gonna eat it, if anyone? I ate my pizza. Hopefully another day that'll be gone. We'll have something cool here. the trees are looking even more beautiful today. Beautiful fall colors. This road is gorgeous. Look at that. We're just about at peak here. Nice looking road. Sure did get cloudy fast. It's about almost 1:30 in the afternoon, and we're gonna end the video here. I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. All right, everyone, now that I'm home, the voltage that this thing is taking on from the wall is not too much more than it was in the full sunlight. Take a look at that, 144 watt. This thing was getting 120 something out of the solar panels in full sun. So this being said, I've never looked at that before, and if they had full sun all day, I believe this would charge completely. There was just a lot of clouds and shade that were really affecting this thing when it was charging.